New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Why, hello, it's me, yes, Bonnie Gonzalez, your doula for grief. And hello, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time you're viewing, just welcoming you. And if this is your first time here with me, oh my goodness, I just want you to know that you have come to the right place to start your journey on recovering from grief. And if you're a returning person, oh, I'm so honored to have you back and so glad that you're with me again today for this program. And I invite you to make this next hour about you. I invite you to participate. If there's a question or a comment that comes up, just drop it in the comment box and we'll be sure to answer or just acknowledge your presence. So thank you. And if I didn't say anything about me, I am Bonnie Gonzalez. I am a grief coach, religious science practitioner. I'm a registered nurse. And I'm a licensed soul collage facilitator. And most importantly, I'm another human being on the planet here with you, moving through these times in our lives. So just welcome again. And I'm just here to continue to move the needle on talking about grief. Grief in its many forms and its many midrets. As I always say, grief is caused by loss. And there's so many things that we lose that puts us into grief. And of course, death is the big mother of all that puts us into grief. So death of loved ones, it's always just a really deep grief, a deep sorrow, deep grief. But we also have divorce, relationships, loss of a job, loss of health, geographical moves. So all those things bring about grief. So that's what we're here today, just to move through a conversation on grief. And with that said, I know that everyone knows that next Sunday, May 14th, especially in the US of A, is Mother's Day. And here in Mexico, where I am, it's the 10th, it's Wednesday, is Mother's Day, Dia de las Madres, and it's a big celebration. And I equate Mother's Day celebration as one of the high holy holidays. There is something for everyone. There's something that all of us will experience around Mother's Day. If your mother is alive, oh, my hat's off to you. Go and celebrate her and just love her up. Know that. And if your mother is transitioned, our grief is with you. My heart is with you. And for those that are estranged, again, my heart is with you. So with that said, I thought I would start with a Mother's Day prayer. And I wish I knew who the author was, though, that I could give credit. But I just want you to know that it is a prayer. So, like with any prayer, maybe just getting still in the moment so that you can hear it. So just getting still in this moment If it feels good, you can close your eyes to receive the words of this prayer, or just soften your gaze, or just have a downward looking. That's all. But I want you to really just take these words in. So just a deep breath. Maybe just sit up a little bit straighter. A breath in, just let it out. And soften your mind, soften your heart. So the words to the prayer are, acknowledging the wide continuum of mothering. To those who gave birth this year to their first child, we celebrate with you. To those who lost a child this year, we mourn with you. To those who are in the trenches with little ones every day and wear the badge of food stains, we appreciate you. To those who experience loss through miscarriage, failed adoptions, or running away, we mourn with you. To those who walk the hard path of infertility, fought with hopes, prods, tears, and disappointment, we walk with you. Forgive us when we say foolish things. We don't mean to make this any harder than it is. To those of you who are foster moms, mentor moms, and spiritual moms, we need you. To those who have warm and close relationships with your children, we celebrate with you. To those who have disappointment, heartache, and distance with your children, we sit with you. To those who lost their mothers this year, we grieve with you. To those who live through driving tests, medical tests, and the overall testing of motherhood, we are better for having you in our midst. To those who are single and long to be married and mothering your own children, we stand in possibility with you. To those who step parent, we walk with you on these complex paths. To those who envision lavishing love on grandchildren, yet that dream is not to be, we grieve with you. To those who will have emptier nest in the upcoming year, we grieve and rejoice with you. To those who have placed children up for adoption, we commend you for your selflessness and remember how you hold that child in your heart. And to those who are pregnant with new life, both expected and surprising, we anticipate with you. This Mother's Day, we walk with you. Mothering is not for the faint of heart, and we have real warriors in our midst. We remember you. And so it is. Ashe, Amen, and so mote it be. And just taking a moment to let those words just wash over you. Knowing that words have power. They have the power to motivate you, to comfort you, to soothe you. Allow yourself to receive whatever it was that you needed while listening to that prayer. So again, I thank you for your attention and thank you for listening to that prayer. So, as I said, next coming Sunday is Mother's Day, the big high holy holiday. And today I just wanted to talk about Mother's Day from different perspectives and different angles, and also to give just some tips and tools to get through Mother's Day. So that'll come later in the show. But for right now, I have a wonderful, beautiful, special guest who's just, oh my gosh, every guest is special. Every guest I have on this program is special. But my guest today just holds a special place in my heart. And her name is Krista McAtee. And the reason she's so special is because she is special, but because I met her at a point in my life where the trajectory of my life was changing. And you know how when you're moving in a new direction, sometimes moving to a different state or climate, you need different clothes, you need different apparels, there's things that you will need. Well, Krista was like that for me. Little did I know that I would need this kind of love and support in my life, and she showed up. So I'll bring on Krista McAtee, and Krista is a religious science practitioner, but Krista is also an educator. Krista has been an educator for over 25 years, not only teaching little ones and wee ones, but now working with teachers, mentoring teachers and teaching them how to teach. And I always say, if I had not been a nurse, I would have been a teacher. So Krista holds a special place in my heart. And Joe, if you bring Krista on, that would be just awesome. Hey, yay. There.
Hi.
Thank you. And I want to say thank you for coming on, especially for this show, since we know we're going to talk about mothers.
Yeah, it's an honor.
Yes, our own mothers. And Krista, yes, I will let you speak or say a few words before I ask you to move forward.
Well, first, I just wanted to thank you for that prayer because that was such an honoring way to recognize all the parts of us, right? Like I could find myself in so many, oh yeah, that's me. Oh, and that's me, and that's me, and that's me. Oh, that's my daughter. That's my, and yes. What a sweet way to just honor parts of who we are and our experience. So thank you. Yeah. And then also just so glad to be with you. This is, Bonnie and I have talked about love and grief since we met and fell in love that first time together, the first time we met. And I just remember, I'll never forget just melting into this hug. This just like felt like I was just wrapped in love. And every time I see you, every time I think about you, every time I hear your voice, I see a picture of you, I'm like,
yes.
That love.
Yes. We were designed to share this time together, Krista. We truly were. Yeah. And I know that your mother yourself, that I didn't mention, that you're a mother and a grandmother, even though you don't look what I think of as grandma. Yeah, you get to share that love. And I did want to say that Krista and I both do share that we both lost our moms around the same time. I think maybe I lost my mom a month before your mom. And I don't think we had met. Yeah, we had not met then. But it met when we met when we needed to meet. So
absolutely.
And one of Krista's other, she's got so many talents. But her other talent that she's going to share with us is that Krista's a beautiful writer. She has a way of just breathing life into words. And just the way she arranges words, talk about a storyteller. So, Krista, I hope I'm not putting you on the spot to ask you to read the beautiful tribute to your mom that you wrote. And then maybe afterwards, because it is in parts, maybe afterwards you can go through and tell us how those parts came about.
Sure. Yeah. So this is a piece that I wrote a few weeks before my mom transitioned. So to give you that context, in 2016. So here we go. The first contact in my favorites list on my cell phone is My Savior. The second is My Savior Mobile. For nearly 16 years, every day on my way into school, I would call My Savior and speak to my mom for the 20 or 30 or 40-minute ride. We spoke about the kids and my students, about her grandkids, about plans and worries. We spoke about dreams and plans to make dreams come true. I asked for her advice, and she often asked more questions. I don't know what to do to reach this student. How do I help them see they're capable of thinking, worthy of love? I don't know what decision to make about my daughter's school, relationship stuff, child rearing questions. What do I do about this sick kid? And how do I make potato pancakes again? Or whatever. She even asked for advice at times, almost always having to do with how to better serve the needs of her children, her grandchildren, her sister, or her dogs. Many times it was just in the talking that we realized the actions we needed to take, the words we needed to share, or the shifts we needed to have in our own hearts. Each new exciting adventure and breakthrough in my life, I would first call My Savior. That student who I've been taking home for so many weekends finally completed her project. Or I got this beautiful letter from a parent. And I finally finished my website for my master's degree. Each new landmark in my children's lives, I shared with her. My hopes, my fears, my challenges, my triumphs, my joys and tragedies. They all found a loving home in the hands and heart of My Savior. Today, I don't call my mom in the mornings anymore. I climb out of bed, make her wheatgrass, and give her a kiss on the cheek. To wake her up, I give her a hug before leaving in the morning and a hug when I come home after teaching. Another hug when I go out again, and a hug when I come back again. A hug when I go to bed. Well, maybe one more hug, and one more hug. We still talk about worries and fears, hopes and dreams, special moments and breakthroughs, triumphs, failures, and successes. She is so much a part of who I am. She worried so deeply for so many years that the hurt in her own heart would make it difficult for me to see the truth about who I am. And I know who I am because of the love that she gave me. She taught me hurt people hurt people. Always look at someone who is hurtful to others with love and empathy. She taught me without a doubt I can do and be anything I want to do and be. There are no limitations. She taught me we have the power to decide what kind of day we will have. It's completely our choice. She taught me any situation, no matter how potentially difficult or scary it could be, can become a grand adventure if you want it to be. I'll never forget when I was 5 and it snowed so hard as we were passing Donner's Summit in Tahoe, all traffic stopped. Mother and daughter in a sea of white. My mom made it the most exciting adventure. I didn't want the roads to be reopened. She taught me you can always find the positive or negative in a person or a situation. What do you want to find? So here we are in the midst of lung cancer, brain cancer, chemotherapy, radiation, blood tests, vomiting, difficulty breathing, difficulty remembering, her frustration with her body's limited function, controllable shaking, and complete exhaustion. I say this time together is the most magical experience ever. And I know it is with all of my heart. It is also the most difficult thing I've ever experienced. Difficult magic, magical tragedy, fear and wonder, complete confusion and profound understanding, lack of control and going with the flow, no choice and total freedom, powerful love and deep pain, paralyzing sadness and limitless hope, total uncertainty and infinite knowing, deep, profound, unconditional love, 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 and more love. I know that one day this will all come to an end. What will I do then? Will I remember how to breathe? I also know that she will always be a huge part of me, of my children, my brother, his family, her sister, our family, our friends, everything we say and everything we do, everything we are, a part of our world forever.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of love.
A lot of love. Yeah. And
so it is. I want to say so it is. That is
it's
a sacred piece.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing it.
Thank you. Thanks for the space. And it was interesting because, you and I spoke about this, I don't know, yesterday morning. And yesterday evening, I got a text message from my cousin, so my mom's sister's daughter.
Okay.
It was a picture of her child. Yeah, it was a picture of one of her children reading. And he's curled up in a blanket. And he said, and my cousin said to me, we discussed who made these blankets this afternoon.
Oh.
My mom. Then tonight, Tobias was reading in the hallway, missing cuddle time. And he said, I am cuddling. I'm cuddling with Aunt Diane.
Oh, my God.
That's my mom, right? So 7 years later, and I said, wow, 7 years this month. And she texted back, I love that we talk about her so often, enough that she's still a part of the twins' lives, even if they don't remember her directly, because they were less than a year old when she transitioned. Wow. But they're a part of her. She's a part of their lives. She lives in us and all of us, even those who aren't. I see her in my grandbaby, who
she never met
long after she was gone, right? Yeah, and I think about that. You said the whole high holy days. Being a mom is holy. In all the ways. The holiness in all the messiness and all of it. And that's the thing for me. It's
Krista. Just as you were reading that, I came like a 360 degrees back to, wow, our mothers really teach us everything. I mean, it's so many ways. And when I say our mothers teach us so many things, I want those people to know that may have not been raised by their biological mother, but that person that cared for them and taught them was their mother. So want to include them in this, to say that, yes, that mother role, that mother archetype, that image, it is really, it's really profound and really deep. And I loved how you talked about your mom teaching you. And especially the part about hurt people.
Yeah, right. Such a part of who I am, and my kids too. I remember coming home when kids in grade school were being mean, and I would be hurt and crying, and my mom would say, "Oh, gosh, I wonder what's going on in their lives, that they are hurting so much that they feel like they need to hurt others."
Yeah, how beautiful! How beautiful! And it just bringing me back to my own teaching from my own mom. Okay, and you're talking about the hurt people. I'm thinking, wow, how sensitive, how intuitive, how kind that is. Now, this is my teaching from my mother, and it's a little funny, but I'll tell you the significance. Say I was going to go somewhere, and somebody backed out at the last minute. My mom would say, and one monkey don't stop no show. It's like she taught me, if there's something I want to do, go ahead and do it. Yeah. Don't let another person dictate to you what you will and you won't do. And I just thought that just popped in my head. I think she's probably here right now in this room, whispering little sweet anecdotes that she has given me throughout my life. And I was quite a bit older than you were, Krista, when you lost your mom. So I had my mom around a lot for a bigger or longer period of time in my life. And so in gratitude for that piece, because I feel the biggest lesson that my mom taught me was how to die.
Yeah.
My mom was so at peace with her life that I remember it was maybe a week before she died. She says, or she had been saying this for a couple of years, and she was 85. And she had been saying, I don't know why God still has me here. Every day I wake up, I'm ready to go. I don't know why I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm just so ready to go. And that week before she died, she just, just like we're talking right now, she just looks at my eyes and says, you know what, Bonnie? When God closes my eyes, you leave them closed. I've had 85 years here, and I did it up. And I'm ready to go. So that for me was big. I mean, gosh, yeah. That
right.
Go ahead.
I'm
Krista.
thinking about the ripples out of that gift for you. Like hear your passion and your depth of understanding of grief and loss, and like how your mom played a role in comfort with transition, and with the dying process, and that's such a huge gift.
Yes,
my mom was very much like that for me too. How to die. Yeah.
But your mom. Go ahead.
She was 70. Yeah, she was 70.
That's what I was going to say. That's you're 85. I can see it, but 70.
But, for her, she was totally at peace with it. And I remember my son was 13 at the time, and I'll never forget where I was in the kitchen when he said, they called her Oma. He says to me, how come Oma's not afraid of dying?
Wow, Krista. What was your response to that?
Well, I said,
wow,
that's I think my initial response was, just so grateful that that he noticed that, and that he got to witness, that my kids, we all got to witness that. And I said, wow, that's a great question. Maybe you want to ask her. Maybe you want to ask her.
Yes.
And I remember my nieces, who were 4 and 7, coming over to visit, and my mom was on hospice and had an oxygen, mask, walking around the house, and she just had a little more energy this time. And one of my nieces said, Oma, you look like you're feeling really well today. You're feeling better, huh? And my mom was like, yeah, actually, I am feeling really well, and I'm gonna die. That's okay.
Oh, I think that is just, oh my gosh, that is so beautiful, Krista. I was, doing this grief work, and you can include death and dying in that, because as I said, death is that, the big mother that puts us smack dab and right in the middle of grief. A lot of it is about thinking about ourselves. Where did we learn to grieve? Where did we learn about death? So if we can sit with that we are teaching our children how to grieve, we're teaching them about death and dying, that we are still teaching when we're in the midst of what make us feel so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yes, that in the middle of our discomfort. And that's why I'm here, to be able to bring that into daily conversation.
Yeah.
And to be able to lean into that kind of discomfort.
Yeah.
The more we lean into it, the less uncomfortable we are.
Totally. Yeah, totally. You're making me think, I remember one of, like, talk about teaching moments. One of the moments, I remember my mom's hair started falling out, and she's like, "Okay, it's time. Like, I need to shave this. I need to shave my head." And I said, "Well, okay, let's go up to my brother's house, who had, little ones." I said, "Let's go up there and they can help." So, gosh, here we are sitting on the porch of that home that I grew up in, the home where my mom lived for many years, and the 7-year-old Lily is shaving my mom's head,
Oh,
and we're all around her, watching the hair go out, fall over the steps and go down for the birds to get for their nests and everything else, and Sienna, the 4-year-old's in my lap and kind of big-eyed and just watching this, and we're, my brother's there holding Lily on his lap, and it's just such a precious moment. And I'll never forget my mom saying afterwards, "Who would have thought that losing my hair would have been one of my most tender, precious, sacred moments?"
That's
and,
it.
And that's the thing. Like, we get to decide. We get to decide how all of this is. Like, it is what it is. She's losing her hair. It is. Death happens.
Mm-hmm.
How do we want to be there in the presence of whatever is?
Right.
And it was sacred.
Right. And how do you want to hold that? How do you want to hold that? Do you want it to be a big, traumatic, chaotic thing where everybody's running scared? Or do you want to bring everyone in?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, Chris, I feel that is such a beautiful gift, and something that the young people will remember, and then maybe making it easier for them when their time is there, making it a little bit easier for them with their children.
Right.
And I just love how the blanket has gone on. It's like a heirloom.
Yeah. Well, okay. Now I have to tell you another blanket story. So when my mom was she did a lot of crocheting and knitting all the time. We had blankets all over the place, and sweaters and hats, and But yeah, when she, and not all the kids don't all know this yet, but anyway, when she was diagnosed, she decided she was going to make a baby blanket for each of the grandkids' first children.
Oh, how precious.
So when my grandbaby was born in 2020, 4 years after my mom transitioned, I took that blanket to the birth of my grandbaby, and my daughter had a blanket made by her grandma for her brand new baby.
Yeah, that's great.
My son just heard that. He's going, me. He's over there. I just let it out of the bag, but he's like, wait, I have a blanket for me, for my first child.
Yeah, but tell him he doesn't have to rush to have the baby to get the blanket.
Yeah, you don't have to hurry. You can have it anytime you want. I got him saved. He's 20.
Well,
but
there's no pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, and I love that we can hold this, and I love it that we can laugh about it, that we can laugh, and just to show that, yes, even this too, that this too has its joy within it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow, Krista. Just beautiful, beautiful stories and beautiful sharing.
Yeah.
And I did want to ask you about, you did read that to me. Maybe it was yesterday, day before. I don't know. All these days are running together. I just moved, so I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
But I loved that when you read that to me, and I was having that moment. I'll just tell you what I was thinking internally. Like, wow, she had that perfect relationship, mother and daughter. It's like, wow, I didn't get that straw. It's like, oh, wow. But then, so I'll let you say what you said, that even though you wrote it's beautiful. Yes, I'll let you get the other.
Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely. So what we were talking about was, it's kind of like that thing. Like, what do you notice? What do you want to pay attention to? And certainly, as someone's transitioning, you're paying attention to all the sacredness. And after they're gone, you're remembering, or at least I try to remember all the best moments. And there were lots of things that were, extremely hard as a child, and there were lots of things that were really complex about our relationship. And there were lots of moments when I felt, totally not loved, not supported, not, and I think that goes to that prayer that you read in the beginning. It's like this and this and this and this and this, and we're all complex humans. We, my mom, it sounds like, I've deified her, right? My savior.
Yes, she can have that.
She can be that, and also really a complex, messy human who has hurt in her heart. And I think that part where I said, I think I read that part where it says she worried that her hurt in her heart, like, how we have that saying, we can't love others until we love ourselves, or we can't let others, and she believed that really firmly. And she had so much, she didn't love herself. She had so much self-judgment and just stuff that so she felt like she couldn't make us feel loved. And in some ways, we had to learn to love ourselves too. Like that's a thing, right? Like it's, maybe it's in the most difficult parts of relationship that we learn to honor ourselves and to take care of ourselves and to love ourselves and not get it from outside. So it's both. It's complex, really complex relationship.
Yes. And I was going to say, our parents had their lives, had whatever was going, they had their parents that reinforced certain ideas and beliefs. And my mother was just, I can see her now in a different light than I did when she was alive. Well, I think about the time that she grew up. She grew up in the South, with segregation. She always wanted to be a school teacher, but she only finished like 10th grade. And she always wanted to have that appearance of being someone that was well educated and knowledgeable. And so my heart breaks when I think about that now. Because for me, I wanted to be a nurse. There was nothing stopping me. But she had all the, racism and segregation. And I think it just, some parts of her were hardened by that. And, angry about that. So at this stage, at this point in my own life, I'm able to see that. Yeah. And now I can applaud her. In the past, I would have said, oh, she was just mean. And oh, my gosh. But now I can see that, for her to have that resilience and still keep moving forward to raise her children. And one of the positive things about that, we were raised in the South, but she never allowed us to have bad dialect or diction or any of those, slang. No, we had to speak proper English, which now I can thank her for that. At that time, I was like, good Lord, why are we pretending to be something we're not? But I can see it differently and hold her differently as well.
Well, it's like using that idea of hurt people for going behind, looking at our ancestors and the things that they did that were hurtful, and go, oh yeah, that came out of their own hurt. Came out of their own hurt.
And I'm going to ask you this question that has just come up. That has just come up in my mind listening to us talk about our mothers who both have transitioned. How would you like to be remembered by your children?
Well, as you know, you and I did that. We had to write our obituary in class. Obituary. Yeah. So I wrote that, and I feel like that, and when I wrote that, I wrote it as a letter to my loved ones. And it was such a powerful experience to me, and it still rings true. And I have that also on my phone. But, I would say that the general overall is some of the themes that came from my mom, right? But for me, it's really, about love. My passion and my practice in the world is about love. And I teach
Yes.
teach as an act of love. I talk about math teaching as an act of love, and being love in the world. And so what I would like for them to remember is how we can practice and become experts at anything, and like, what's the thing that matters the most? And for me, what matters the most is to practice and become better and better and better all the time at being love in the world, looking through the lens of love everywhere I look, and inward also, using love as just allowing the love that we are to flow, and seeing the love that each human is behind however they show up, and knowing that we are all beings of love. We are love embodied, and whether or not we show up in ways that look loving, we're still that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. How do I be a mirror? How do I be the best mirror for those around me and myself? And
Exactly.
that, looking through the lens of love is that, I can, when I'm loving who I am, when I'm practicing love, I can reflect back the love that each person is always. And my practices, regardless of how they show up, which is hard. It's sometimes really, really hard. So
yes,
honoring that and still being that, that mirror, that, lens of love. I have a dear friend who said to me one time, I was complimenting her and thanking her for who she was. And she said, well, yep, I make a great mirror.
Oh, yes, I love that. I love that. We're just holding the mirror, holding the mirror.
What kind of mirror do we want to be, right? What do we want to reflect back to the world around us?
Yes, yes. Oh, well, Krista. Oh, there's so many other questions, but I want to get to another part of this that I talked about. That yes, we're in our mother's lives, and I do understand when people talk about not being in communication with their mother or being estranged from their mother. And I just wanted to ask if you have any friends, anyone in your circle of friends that are estranged from their mom, and if so, how is that? How's that working for them? And how do you encourage that, or do you not?
Well, I think the most important thing for everybody is to honor where they are, and to not make any of it wrong, for any human around me who's experiencing, like discord with their moms or anyone else, like honoring their own heart. And I'd say, as you know, I have 3 children who are adopted from the foster care system. So they all have complex relationships around mothers. I'm their mama. They call me mama, and they have a mom in their life that is they have a complex relationship with. They have a complex relationship with me, and they have complex relationships with their birth mothers and what that means. And there's so many levels to that, and I can't begin to imagine, like what Mother's Day is for, even my son or my daughter.
Oh, did I lose you?
Oh, I lost you for a second.
Okay, there you go. Yes.
I'm there. Yeah.
We're both back together.
Yeah. So I think the best thing is to just, for, when there's discomfort, just to honor that, honor who we are, honor our sweet selves, honor those people who are, those parts that are hurting, those parts that are, as you know, and we've talked about many times, grief has its own wisdom, and pushing it away or trying to make it different than it is, that's all just ridiculous.
Yes. Exactly, Krista. Yes, and that's what I would like to offer in this moment. Just if we do know people that are estranged from their mothers. And it's about honoring where they are.
Yeah.
Not the pushing, oh, you should be talking to your mom. One day she's going to be dead and gone, and then what?
Oh, gosh.
You know, it's like just honoring that person wherever they are in their process.
Yeah.
If they want to talk about it with you, listen. Just be a good listener. And I just in this whole thing about listening and hearing, it's like just listen so that you can hear what they have to say, so that you can truly hear what they have to say. And if they ask your advice, only then offer, and offer it in a way that it's just an invitation, that you can accept the invitation or you can turn down the invitation. But not making someone feel like they've got to, if you don't choose this, then I'm not your friend anymore. Just really learning how to show up and be present for another person that may be in emotional pain. Because I bet 99.9% that person is in emotional pain around that. And they've done a lot of work to get to that place where it's not painful. And if they are, they're not soliciting advice anymore. That's for sure.
Well, and I also, I love that listening, just listening, to allow people to feel witnessed. And I think often when we ask advice, we really know the advice we want to hear, like, and I notice, saying, well, what's your heart's desire? What would fill you up? What do you need? What do you, and asking, would you like some ideas of what might work, what's worked for me, or whatever. But I think having those we love around us who are struggling with whatever, really look inward for that wisdom, because it's there, it's there too.
Yes.
What's my heart need right now?
What does your heart need right now? That is so. I just wanted to give a few do's and don'ts for our high holy holiday that's coming up. And then I'll brief this, and I'll come back to you, Krista, and ask what you're doing.
Okay.
On Mother's Day. So, as I said, Mother's Day, as I have been saying, Krista and I, it's a bittersweet time. For some, it will be just the highest time, and some it may not be. So I just say, happy Mother's Day to all. To those of you whose mother is alive and with you on this journey today or on this Mother's Day, please enjoy and celebrate. To those whose mothers has transitioned and is now in the spirit world, my heart is truly with you. For those whose mother is alive but the relationship is not harmonious, my heart is also with you. I feel your pain. And for those of us, I'll start with these. To get through the day of Mother's Day, if you're feeling grief, I offer these tools to help you move through grieving and find comfort with grace and ease. One thing that you can do if your mother has transitioned is create a ritual. Ritual can give you a sense of feeling that there are things that still matter, and also things that you have some control over. Ritual can help you to reconnect to the memory of the one you lost. It gives you special time to remember the good times. It gives you just permission to remember the good times and to help you move through the difficult periods. Another suggestion is get out with others and share funny stories about your mother. You can watch your mother's favorite movie, cook her favorite meal, or go to her favorite restaurant if you're not a cook. Display your mother's pictures surrounded by flowers or ribbons or crystals or incense. And also rest, knowing that grieving can be truly exhausting. And for those whose mother is alive, but the relationship is not harmonious, I offer just be kind to yourself. Engage in your favorite activity. Journal on what's in your heart. Just pour it out on the paper and page. Do something good for someone else on this special Mother's Day. Do something good for someone else. And then also create a ritual for inviting more love into your heart. And just know that all of these things are rituals that can bring comfort. And my most important for both categories, for mothers that have transitioned and for mothers that you're not having harmonious relationships, have a plan. Do not let this day catch you off guard. Have a plan. Whatever that plan is, stick with it. But if the moment comes and you feel like, I'm okay, I got this, I don't need my plan. So just honor you wherever you are. And most importantly, if none of this resonates, what you can always do is just forget the whole day. Just forget the whole day, go for a hike, go for a swim, do whatever it is that you want. But I just offer you, do have a plan to take care of you on this day. Thank you. So Krista, what's your plan for Mother's Day?
Yeah, I love a lot of those ideas, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that. I think my plan is to follow my heart. I just listen to what feels right and go. I'm much river is my thing, and so go with the flow. But also, I grew up on the river with my mom, and I may go actually to the river. Or I may a couple things that came to mind when you asked me that is my kids are nobody's close except for my son. So I have my one son close, and I've got a daughter in LA, and I got a daughter in Arizona, and I got a grandbaby in Arizona, and don't have my mom here. So like the traditional, everybody gets together and goes out to breakfast. Not gonna happen for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. And maybe my son will want to spend time together, do something, and I'm just trusting the flow. And some things that come to mind, maybe write a letter to my mom. I've done that. I love doing that. And write a letter to my mom. Write a letter back from my mom to me.
Yes.
Write a letter to my grandbaby. Write a letter to my children. I'll probably reach out to all of them and talk or send pics or whatever, and just honor my heart, honor what feels right. And I'm not a plan person, and my plan is to go with the flow. And I have so many options. Like this feels right, this doesn't. Just coming back to that. What honors my heart? What feels right now?
Yes. I just love when you said that. I was just going to tease you. You said you're not a plan person. You're going to go with the flow. I was going to say, but that is a plan.
That's the plan. The plan is to go with the flow. Yep. Yeah.
And
what about you?
Yeah, I know. I've got two options. I'm here in Mexico, and the culture is so around family, and Mother's Day is it's a holiday. I think some of the stores are even closed.
Yeah.
And so my plan is to sit and people watch. Mexican culture, it's not only the mom and the kids, it's the grandma, it's the great grandma, it's everybody together. I'm just going to sit out. We live right along the water, the Malecon. I'm going to sit there and just watch families enjoy. I'm going to watch families enjoy. And my mom did love flowers. So I'm going to buy a big bouquet of flowers for my table, for my dining room table, and have mom on the table. And I'm going to be out on Maui Con just watching the families interact and just.
You're going to watch the flow.
Yeah, I'm going to watch the flow versus going with it. I'm going to watch them be in flow. I don't have my granddaughters are not here. My kids are not here, but I'm here and I have the memories and I am making the best of that day. And just honoring what comes up within me. But I'm ready for the adventure, Yeah. So Krista, is there anything that you're doing that you want our audience to know? I know we put up your email. Is there anything you'd like folks to know or into?
I mean, I facilitate. We're both practitioners for Center for Spiritual Living, and I facilitate a Sunday night service every third Sunday at CSLSR. Which is really a conversation about whatever the theme is for the month. And I facilitate a diversity discussion group also. And those are all available on the CSLSR, CSLSR.org, I believe, website. And my work in the world is really about teaching and practicing love. And so I'm interested in any conversations that folks have about, opportunities to talk about teaching as an act of love or being love in the world or practicing love in the world. And I'm, so reach out and for sure, I do a lot of that work with educators, and I just love marinating myself and thinking about and talking about and practicing love. I want to marinate everyone in love. And so however that unfolds, let's do it. You and I do that every time we talk. It's just like a big love fest. So
it is a big love fest. I just want to say that Krista is going to come back in maybe 2 weeks. She'll be back because she's going to talk to us about loving our way through grief. Krista is a love expert. Love is her specialty. She is, one of our teachers called her a heart on wheels, a walking heart.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, I want you to come back and share that, because so much of what we're doing and in the grief process is loving ourselves through a really difficult time, and love definitely can heal. Yeah. Definitely is the healing power. Love is the greatest healing power of all. So Krista will come back and enlighten us on that. And in the meantime, as Krista said, I am a practitioner and so is Krista. So we're both available for guidance, spiritual guidance, and with grief coaching. So please don't do grief alone. That's what I want to leave you with. Don't do grief alone. Grief needs to be heard. Grief needs to be validated, and grief needs to be shared. We are just these wonderful, sweet little humans that love to interact. So don't forget that. Don't do grief alone. Reach out to me. Reach out to Krista. And I just want to leave you with one thought today. Look in the mirror. Look in your own eyes and ask, what do I need today? What do I need to really feel love today? Whatever comes up, I want you to go and do that. Promise me. All right. Thank you so much, Krista. Besitos, muchísimo gracias. Thank you so much for being here. And everyone, just go out and just do something fantastic on that high holy holiday. Or as Krista says, and I say, do nothing. It's all acceptable. Thank you. Ciao, ciao. Until next week. I'll see you later. Ciao.